Oh, hey! Welcome to Small Talk, where our talks are anything but small. So grab your juice, wine, snacks, or whatever you need for tonight's topic. Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're back with another episode. Wow. Video 2. We love to see it. Okay. Alrighty. Hi. My name is Jay. If you are new here and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. So yes, this is Small Talk, where our talks are anything but small, and we talk about everything under the sun. All the uncomfortable conversations that you may not want to have, but you really do need to have. And I am essentially just your homie around the corner, mm, corner, period, new word. I'm just your homie around the corner that you can talk to about anything that you come up with. I love talking. You love talking. Why not talk together? Cool. So today's topic is dating. Yay! So honestly, first let me put this disclaimer out here that one, I am not a professional therapist. I'm not a dating coach. I have no type of whatever involvement with coaching anybody or giving anybody any professional advice. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. See how you see fit and how you like it in your life and how it relates to you, but don't at all think that it's coming from me and I'm telling you this what you got to do. That's not what this podcast is about. I know other podcasts be doing that, but this not them. We not them over here, not over here on this channel. Okay, no thank you. I'm ready. So yes, so I wanted to put that disclaimer out before we get started, but yeah. So and another thing, I wanted to give a little mini update. So I have a new schedule for Small Talk. If you heard my last week podcast episode, so I do podcast and visuals. So I guess it would be audio and visual of my podcast. There we go. So I've been alternating it. So every other week would be like a video. Last week's was an audio. This week is a video. So hello, nice to see you. And yeah, so that's the new schedule. So this week is today's video. We love that. And I don't know, that was it on that part. I just wanted to give that little update. Yeah. And if you want any more updates, you want to tune in or send us any wow. Hello. Okay. And if you want to words, okay. And if you want to keep up with any updates or tune in on what's going on with Small Talk, you can follow me on Instagram at _ the small talk. So yeah, I'll see you there. But in the meantime, this is today's episode. So basically what we will be discussing in today's episode is essentially dating is a war zone. So we're going to talk about how pretty much everybody in our generation is essentially just a wounded person trying to fill their own wounds with other people. Okay, cool. Keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head. Okay. The second thing that we're going to talk about is the dating or our dating generation and how it's been affected by social media and the advancement of technology. I don't know what's going on with my voice today, so I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that I had coffee. I might be shivering. We might be a little antsy, but we're awake. We're awake. Anyways, so yeah. The second topic was dating affected by social media and technology, like the advancement of technology, and then the intensity behind dating. Because, yeah, And then I'm gonna provide some good examples of like behavior you can carry in your dating experience to kind of make it better if you want to. And then also provide some advice and some suggestions. Like, again, I am not a licensed anything. Um, unless you're talking about a licensed comedian, because I come with the jokes. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, yeah. I'm not a licensed anything, so I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, Jay said no. This is just a suggestion. Like I said, I'm your homie. Let's say you wanted to come to your friend for advice on a relationship, but that's who I am. But take it with a grain of salt, a grain, like less than that, and not too much on the nails, not too much. Okay, we're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna get there. We're not gonna talk about it today. Anyways, so like I said before, dating is a war zone in our generation. It seems like everybody is essentially just trying to fill their own wounds by distracting themselves or filling their presence with others. And again, well, not again, but I do want to preface this with I am also speaking on this as from my own experience of me also doing some of these things and learning from it and being like, okay, obviously this is not working. What is going on? Let's do some self reflecting, right? These are some of the things that I have also experienced within myself and not just with other people. So I'm not just saying, y'all doing this. No, no, no. This is a we thing. It's us. We in this locked in together. Okay. But we are pointing this out because it needs to be pointed out. Okay. Period. So, yeah, our generation loves to use people as a way to find out themselves and find a way to heal from certain wounds that they have. And now I don't want you to think that because we are very young and we are learning ourselves and we're experiencing new things. I'm not saying that we aren't going to have people in our lives that help us find out more about ourselves, but there are people who purposely have connections with people only to better themselves. And in that sense, I mean, like, and I'm putting quotations around better themselves. Perfect example. Someone is having a really rough time mentally and accepting themselves, and they're going through a lot of changes. That's completely normal and that's completely fine. Um, a lot of people are, especially in our young age. We're developing, we're learning ourselves outside of our family and our friends, or our family and our parents specifically, not friends, not yet. But, we're learning ourselves, right? So, some of those people are using other people to fill in the fact that they are not comfortable with being by themselves instead of focusing on, hey, why am I not comfortable being by myself? Why, what can I do to feel more comfortable with being by myself? How can I change some of my behaviors to do X, Y, and Z and present in a different way so that I am like, bettering myself on my own. They're not taking those precautions. Instead, they're like, I don't want to be myself, so I'm going to get a girlfriend. I don't want to be with myself, so I'm going to get a partner, a boyfriend. I'm going to have a bunch of friends. But it's like at the end of the day, you're still unintentionally, we'll put that out there because a lot of people are doing this subconsciously and we don't want to be like, oh, you're a bad person. But you come across as someone who doesn't care for the well being of others. You may really care about the person, but the way you have not, how do I say, processed and actually genuinely healed from your own traumas and your own um, demons, it seems as though you are just negatively impacting the person that you're getting help from, kind of thing. And so in that sense, that is not a great way to even start off any type of relationship, friendship, platonic, romantic relationship, like all of that. That is no way to do that. Because essentially, if that person is no longer fulfilling that emotional support that you're looking for, and it's a type of emotional support that generates from when a child does not have emotional support growing up from their relatives, their guardian, their parent, whoever, someone close to them that they really admire. And now they're applying that to their relationships. Once that part is not met, they're immediately moved on to the next person. They come across those people are possibly the ones that are like, those are the ones that need attention a lot, majority of the time. Not all the time, but majority of the time. The ones that appear like, oh, I need you to be in my face. I need to know that you care about me, da 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 da. Reassurance in a relationship, absolutely fine. Perfect. It's actually expected, for y'all to have communication, make sure, like, you don't want to go around with a stank face all the time. You can be like, do you actually like me? Like, smile at least once every now and then, like, please. So, in that sense, yeah, no, definitely have that reassurance. But if you're constantly needing someone to be like, hey, I absolutely love you, or like, no, perfect example. Take that back. Refresh. Revert. Okay. Let's say that you are someone who needs that reassurance consistently, right? Okay. Let's say your partner is going through it and they can't provide the same communication that they did previously, whether they have communicated that or not, you are going to spiral. You are going to be like, oh, this person doesn't like me anymore. This isn't this. Like, because they have to take time out for themselves where it has nothing to do with you. But because you did not receive that attention or that emotional support when you were growing up that you absolutely needed as a child, then you're every time someone takes time out for themselves, you think they are out to just leave you, which is not the case majority of the time. Now, there are some people who are just they're not great at communication, and we'll get to those people too, because everybody isn't safe out here. Words. See, the universe don't like ugly. This is gonna bite my tongue. Anyways, in that sense, you definitely need to take time out to cater to yourself and learn what you need and how you can provide that need and not expect a partner or a friendship to completely satisfy that need. Otherwise, you're just going to be hopping from person to person because you're never going to be fulfilled in life. Okay? Cool. My next point, dating has been affected by social media and the advancement of technology. So our generation literally grew up on tech. There's no way around it. I literally always remember, I say literally a lot. And if you're of the age 21 and up, take a shot for every time I say literally in every video I have. That's going to be messy. Anyways, so I remember growing up and always having a TV somewhere. There was some type of computer, whether it was like an old fashioned computer or the latest model. There was always some type of phone. Like we had some form of technology. And so when I'm saying technology, I'm not only mentioning social media like iPhones, smart TVs. I'm mentioning like we've had access to technology since the day we came out the womb up until now. We don't know life outside of it. Okay. We didn't have to grow up with driving around with a map to find out. We had GPS. By the time that we were all driving, majority of us, GPS. We didn't have to have a map. What are you talking about? But with the fact that we grew up with technology, I've noticed that we, with the fast advancement of technology and how quick we were able to gain access to different parts of the world, which I think is absolutely beautiful. We're able to have access to so much information. Everything is literally at our fingertips. However, with that positive, there is a negative side to it. Two-sided coin. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it was going to be an accident or not. We don't know. We're not going to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. Anyways, so the two-sided coin of it and the negative side of us advancing with technology, like alongside with technology, is the fact that we mentally are on a faster pace. I've noticed that the generations that did not grow up with technology at all, or at least they had technology introduced to them when they were like in their teens, a little bit more developed, maybe not like fully developed, but like more developed than a child having access to technology. They are a little bit on a slower pace. They're like, okay, we can take our time with this. They're not trying to like, oh, this is what I gotta do. This is what I gotta do. Like, next thing, next thing, next thing. And I noticed that our generation is like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? It's like our attention span. Everybody's always talking about it. Oh, our attention span is so short. You go on TikTok and when they started introducing 3-minute videos, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what's going on here? Are y'all serious right now? I do watch them now, but when they first introduced it to us, I was like, yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm not gonna sit here for 3 minutes on a video. But I would also, at that time being, I was not actively watching YouTube videos anymore. So my attention span shortened. I feel like the fact that our attention span shortened with technology, it shortened in a lot of other aspects in our life. One of them, dating. I am a very chill person. I can, very is going to be the second word that we're going to do for how many shots y'all have to take in the video. You know what? One of these videos, I'm going to have a number count for how many of the words that will just keep coming out of my mouth repeatedly, that I repeat very often. There it goes. Anyways, so darn it, what was I saying? Oh, the advancement of technology and our attention span. Our generation, if you aren't, it appears as though with a few of our peers that if you aren't constantly in their face, they're going to forget about you. And it's going to be like, why do I have to be in your face again? Now, this is completely different than the emotionally needy person. Like if they this is two separate things. Like a person can be emotionally needy and then also have a short attention span. And I've met a few. I've met a few and it's not great. Like I would not suggest it for anybody. Negative 10 out of 10 would not recommend, okay? If you can be mature enough to let them go. Please. But anyways, we are very stunted emotionally when it comes to actually, I don't want to say committing because people do commit to relationships, but they commit very fast and it's like on a faster pace. And it's like if you're not, I know a lot of people hate this word, but I'm using it in the correct way. If you're not love bombing them, they don't believe that you actually care about them. And I mean that, like, it could be within the first month, they're like, oh, yeah, that person is like whispering sweet nothings to you. I'm not finna do that, and I don't know you. Like, I don't even know if I like you enough to be whispering sweet nothings to you. I'm gonna be making promises I can't keep because then you're gonna do something that's just gonna completely throw me off. And it's not even gonna be anything. It's not even gonna be anything that's like, oh, that's a red flag. It's gonna be something like, oh, you chew very loudly when you eat a certain way. And I'm going to be like, wow, that's what you do? Like, I'd have to see you do that for the rest of our lives together. Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, you could literally get out the car a certain way And I'd be like, I don't like that. It could be something as small as that within a month. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to see you do that every time I look at you and I want to hang out with you. Like, you cool, but that was annoying. It's stuff like that for me that I'm like, okay, we're not gonna do that. But you're telling me that within a month, maybe a month and a half of getting to know that person, they're like, oh, yeah, I can see myself being with you. Like, we're going to be constantly together. Like, I don't even know how to whisper sweet. I don't whisper. I know how to whisper. I don't even know how to do like sweet talking. So, like, that doesn't even make sense to me, in my opinion. I'm just going to tell you the truth. That's it. Let me tell you how I feel. But it's a very intense. And that kind of leads to the other point that I was going to make of how our generation is just so intense. And it leads into, or is probably derived for, which is a better word to say, derived from the fact that we advance with technology, and technology has become so intense because the media that we are su- uh, mm, absorbing. There we go. The word was not there for a moment, but the darn technology, the media that we are observing is very intense. Like, the more intense, the more views you get. Unfortunately, that is our society. The crazier you are, or the more entertaining, because everybody's entertainment is defined differently. But the more entertaining you are, the more views you'll have. So, of course, they're going to come with the dramatics. Why not? That has brought into has translated into relationships, not relationships. I don't know nothing about relationships. I'm gonna be honest. This is only talking about dating. Let me stick to that. I wanted to make sure I say that. That it's translated over into dating, where it's like people, a lot of our peers, and again, there are people out there that don't do this, but the ones I've met majority of the time, they're I'm like, are you serious right now? That's what you're attracted to? But again, ooh, excuse me. But again, I've also been attracted to that at some point. So it's a snitch on me too. So we all getting our hands popped. So, but the intensity is like that. A lot of people are seeking the people that provide some type of intense aspect in their life. So like it could be in their behaviors, extravagant gifts, trips, dates, always doing spontaneous things, like showing it in that way that can be intense for some people. And it can be presented in an intense way. There we go. Words, yeah, they're never my favorite, but it's okay. So that's one way it can be shown. It can be shown through the emotion. So, like, if you are a person who feels intensely whenever they are meeting a new person, like those cute little butterfly phases or whatever, it's like super intense, and you feel it on 10 every time you meet a new person that you like. Most likely, you're meeting those people because you like that feeling, which is like, I sorry, I got distracted. There's people outside. Which is like, it's fine as long as you know that that's what you're doing and not confusing that with actually liking that person. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't like the person. You just like the feeling of the intensity that you get and how you're like, oh my gosh, your crush, lovely. Oh my gosh, this is like, I just feel so great. And it's like, do you actually like this person? Do you like how they make you feel? Right. And then another example could be in a negative way. So some people believe that if you don't have arguments, and like, I'm not talking like debates or disagreements, because like you're going to disagree. You're not going to like every single thing the same way. But if you're getting in full blown arguments, especially if you've only known each other for a short amount of time, like there isn't really a time stamp on anything. There's not a timeline for anything. Time is a concept. It's whatever. Okay, cool. But if y'all are arguing and having really intense arguments in the first few months, 3 months tops of y'all being in, like, of y'all knowing each other, not even being in a relationship, but y'all knowing each other and trying to date and everything, I feel like that's a bunch of red flags because what do you have to argue about? Like, not even to disagree, like full blown screaming matches arguments. Like, that's weird to me. That's that's completely insane, in my opinion. Um, that is something that a lot of people seek because that is how they see real love. You know, they're like, oh yeah, that's how I know they care about me. Babes. Sorry, but I just want to let you know that person is actually controlling and they probably don't even like you. They'll do this to anybody that makes them feel any type of emotion besides sadness. Sad truth, but that's the truth. So so you're probably like, okay, Jay, cool. We got all of this down. You're pointing out all of these red flags. You're saying all of this. And okay, cool. You're dogging on relationships or the whole dating scene. I'm not dogging on it. Let's start there. But I am being honest about it. Okay. I'm definitely being honest about it. You can date. And I'm even casually dating now. Mm, bump the now part. If it happens, it happens. But I totally forgot. Dating apps. Because I'm saying this because I used to be on Tinder and Hinge. Never again. Not It's just not my cup of tea anymore. I don't want to meet people on there. Again, it goes back to the whole advancement of technology and how you can have access to so many different people, which is absolutely great. But the negative side about it is you have access to so many different people. Everybody is not going to be your cup of tea. And sometimes those people that aren't your cup of tea can leave a negative mark in your life. So we're going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to put it that way. All respect to anybody I've met on these dating apps, but never again. You got to meet me in person to actually be a romantic interest. Otherwise, I'm treating you like, what am I treating you like? The grown men that talk to little kids on the internet, I'm treating y'all like them. Don't talk to me on the internet at all because you're weird. That's weird. You don't even know me. That's weird. You don't. Anyways, back to my point. Yes, you can date. I was casually dating, no longer a priority anymore. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's I meet somebody in person only. Then yeah, all for it. I'm here for it. Yeah. But these are definitely things that I would keep in mind as good examples of what I would do as I'm continuing to date. So communication, number one. My biggest thing. I hate that a lot of our people in our generation is like, oh, I'm big on communication, but they don't talk. And like one thing that I've noticed, and again, no shade to the people I've met, I am trying to be as respectful as I can. But this is an issue this is a pet peeve now. This is like a huge pet peeve that I have now because I have met so many people that have done this where you are one, you're on the, what am I trying to say? You start the connection under the assumption you're going on dates, right? Cool. The person B is like, you know what? I'm not really feeling them like that. I would like to just be friends. That's cool. Absolutely fine. Not a problem with you having that realization. The issue for me comes in when there's a lack of communication. Person B never tells person A, oh, I just see you as a friend now. They just continue on and start acting as if they are friends and never addressing that. So if person A never asked or never brought it up or just ends up like, or just never mentioning it, person B would never say anything about it. And they would just continue on. So person A has the option of one, mentioning it, bring it up to the table and be like, hey, you good? Like, what's going on? Two, two, just ignoring it and keep it going. And like, if they catch on to it, then I guess acknowledging it. And if they don't catch on to it, continuing to act as if they're dating and then end up getting hurt because that person doesn't communicate that. Communication in all aspects is important, whether you like the person or not, especially if you don't like the person and you change your mind. Don't have people guessing. That's that's rude. That's real rude. I don't like that. And again, that's a personal preference, in my opinion, because I like direct people. Maybe it's not something that everybody requires, and they're like, oh, well, it's just a small thing anyway. And I'm like, I'd respect you more if you were more direct with it, though. So that part is a personal preference. But I would say definitely communicate, regardless. Communicate, talk, please. Two, knowing yourself. Take the time out to like know your likes, your dislikes, knowing the pace of a relationship for you. Like for me, I want it to be extremely slow. I want the slowest burn of the slower. I want it to be slower than the slow cooker cooking chili, bomb chili, stew. hmm Slower than that. That's what I want. Snail, snail type race relationship like that. That I want it to be very slow, because, like I said before, everybody's on this fast pace, and I feel like because they're on a fast pace, that burnout real quick, real quick. Think about you having sugar. You get that sugar high, you crash, you crash. That's it. Until you get that next sugar high. That's how I feel like majority of people treat the dating scene, to each their own, to each their own, right? Three, don't expect anything when first meeting. Like, I used to do this a lot and I love to daydream. I still daydream, but I have. Okay, cool. So, yes. So, I am also like really big on daydreaming, and I love to like, I don't know, like I just love daydreaming. Who doesn't, right? But I refrain from doing that when I meet a new person. Like, don't do that about them, because you're basically creating expectation in your head that they're not going to live up to because you know nothing about them. So when you start to get to know about them, they're like, you're like, they're nothing like how I thought they were going to be. Yeah, because you were daydreaming of a different person. You made that person up on your first impression of them. You didn't actually like think that that person like you didn't get to know that person before you started daydreaming. And I don't suggest that at all. So go in it with no expectations, You're just here to have fun. It's a dating scene. And then another one is beware of the red flags. And then if you are going to be aware of them, be able to accept the consequences of ignoring them and like being like, oh, well, this person is da 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 da. Because at the end of the day, this is again something that I have to tell myself as well. You saw that coming. That person has shown you they were a thief multiple times. Just because they didn't do it to you doesn't make them not a thief. They did it to their mom. You think if they did it to their mom, they're not gonna do it to you? That's crazy. That's wild. No, you knew that. You knew that. Like in that sense, definitely know the red flags. Like you gotta understand that you ignored the signs. Now, if you completely did not see them, okay, cool. But if you're complaining about the same topic, okay, this person isn't able to communicate. By number three, that person is just not a communicator. And if that's something that you're looking for, you don't need to be with that person. Period. If you don't mind not having communication, then go ahead and continue on. That's what you want. That's what you want. Live your life to the fullest. Okay. Right. Anyways, lastly, I just have some advice. So, as an okay, because I barely have storage on my phone, so it keeps doing the full storage thing. Lovely. Um, yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up. But I wanted to give this a few advice. So, like, as an extension of the examples I gave earlier, just to like give you some suggestions on like how to move when through how to move through casual dating. And again, there's suggestions, not telling you what to do. I'm not the podcast that you're gonna have to be like, oh, you gotta do this in order to have a good dating. As long as you don't bring that over here to me, I genuinely don't care. I'm nosy, y'all. Leave me alone. But I genuinely don't care. So Okay, right? But one advice is, again, communicate not only with the people you're interested in, but also with yourself. Like, get to know yourself and what you like doing, and trying to get to know who you are as a person. Okay. Another advice is have non negotiables, things that you aren't willing to like bend on, and things that you aren't willing to accept when looking for a relationship, if that's your end goal. But also, you can apply this to the dating scene. Like, if you know that you want to just do casual dating for some years or whatever, sometime or whatever, be like, okay, my non negotiable is you don't like, you can't want a relationship. Like, I mean, like, you can't want a relationship at all, kind of thing. When you're talking to me, don't come over here with that. Oh, please don't. That's a non negotiable that you can apply to dating. You know? Okay. And then these go hand in hand. So I'm gonna say them kind of at the same time. But if you don't have a neutral or good relationship filled with boundaries and communications with your parent or parents and yourself, don't consider going into dating. Don't consider dating at all until you started therapy. Now, I'm not saying you can't date while healing yourself. But if you're not constantly in therapy and you're not actively working to better yourself, don't don't do it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's just going to make you a little bit more unhinged than necessary. Okay, it's not worth it. It's not. No. Mm-mm. And you might meet the right one. In the sense of they gonna show you what happens when you are unhealed and you messing with people. Okay, but yeah, so that's it that I have for this video. It was a cute little rant. I may do like mini videos like this more often as like a little rant thing. But yeah, so I will see y'all in the next, well, hear from y'all in the next episode because it'll be audio. But yeah, okay, bye.